platforms. Hi folks, Brian Rushing here. Earlier this year, my wife and I went looking for our dream home. You know, the perfect place to have family and friends over, sharing life together, and ultimately growing old together. You might be in the same boat that we were in. With interest rates at seriously low levels, my question for you is, why haven't you taken the step to home ownership? If you're still looking for the right agent, let me suggest to you Moss Realty. They have an unbelievable inventory at mossrealty.com, and the personal service is second to none. When I called 865-5555, Don Mott made it his personal objective to make sure that we would find our dream home. Folks, Moss Realty turns dream home searching into dream home living. Call them up, 704-865-5555, or go online to mossrealty.com. Moss Realty, turning dream home searching into dream home living. Crusaders Athletics on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network is brought to you by Pine Island Country Club, Domino's, Moss Realty, the Hampton Inn by Hilton at Montcross, and Ortho Carolina, you improve. We take you now to the www.abbeyathletics.com broadcast booth. It's time to raise the red on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. And good afternoon. We welcome you to Crusaders Volleyball here on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network this afternoon, as the Belmont Abbey Crusaders re-enter conference play against the King University Tornado. Brian Rushing here with you this afternoon. So glad that you could join us as the Crusaders, winners of 2 straight this week, re-enter conference play against the King University Tornadoes. This is a Belmont Abbey club that has really started to feel themselves nicely in the offensive side as they took a 4-set win at home on Wednesday against Lees McRae, and then they went on the road last night to avenge a loss that they had here against Coker, getting the 5-set thriller down in Hartsville, South Carolina. This is a Belmont Abbey club that has really put their best foot forward in the last couple of matches offensively. You take a look at what they see today, and it's going to be a King University club that is undefeated in conference play. King University coming into this contest 6-1 overall, 2-0 in conference play, behind only Mount Olive, who is 3-0 in conference play. So certainly the Crusaders hopefully got some good rest overnight in preparation for this match, but they find themselves in a pretty good way as far as the offensive flow of things, and they're going to need that tonight against the King University Tornado. Take a look at the starting lineup for Sean Manzi's club here in this contest, as Brennan Boehner will run the middle, a 6'4 senior out of Cleveland, Ohio. He'll have with him Aaron Durkees, the junior out of San Jose, California. On the outside, Liam Maxwell, the outside hitter for Manahawkin, New Jersey, will be teaming up with Robert Nixon, the 6'4 senior out of Chester, Virginia. Also on the opposite side, Gavin Schaefer gets the start today. Running the center position today is Bryce Sullivan. Bryce Sullivan had a very good match Wednesday here at home against Lees McRae. He gets the start this afternoon against the Tornado, and then Robert Valentine will be the libero this afternoon for the Crusaders, as that'll be the starting 7 for Sean Manzi's club. We come back on the other side of this timeout. We'll get a little bit closer to the start of the action as the Crusaders look to raise the red on this Saturday afternoon, and we'll bring it all to you on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. We'll be right back.
Pain. Pain doesn't just work 9 to 5. Pain can work round the clock, hours and hours, without even thinking of taking a break. So when you're hurting, you don't want to wait for an appointment. You need relief now. Well, there is a solution. Ortho Carolina's Urgent Care can provide relief for the entire family when time is of the essence. Our after-hours clinics are conveniently located near you when you need us. Ortho Carolina's expert staff is ready to treat strains, sprains, minor dislocations, sports injuries, joint pain, and more. The next time you or a loved one is hurting on an evening or over the weekend, we'll be ready to help. It's the same state-of-the-art care, professionalism, and expertise that's made Ortho Carolina a leader in the Southeast. Pain doesn't happen when it's handy, and you shouldn't have to wait to get relief. Visit OrthoCarolina.com for a list of urgent care locations and hours. Ortho Carolina. You improve.
Want to get the most out of your next getaway or business trip? Get over to Belmont, North Carolina, and feel the Hamptonality. At the Hampton Inn Charlotte Belmont at Moncross, we give you friendly service at a great value. You'll rest easy on our clean and fresh Hampton bed. The crisp white linens and duvet give a fresh start to every guest each morning. Every morning begins with our free hot breakfast, including delicious waffles and hearty oatmeal. And with free Wi-Fi, you're guaranteed to stay connected. We're conveniently located just 8 miles from the center of Charlotte, 7 miles from the Charlotte Douglas International Airport, and just 1 mile from Belmont Abbey College. Book your stay by visiting Hampton.com or by calling 704-825-6100. Again, that's Hampton.com or calling 704-825-6100. Feel the Hamptonality at the preferred hotel for Crusaders athletics, the Hampton Inn Charlotte Belmont at Moncross. Back here on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network as the Crusaders take on King University this afternoon. Brian Rushing here with you to bring you the call of today's matchup as the King University Tornado 2-0 in conference play will take on the Crusaders. Taking a look at the stat sheet from last night for the Crusaders, they had a thriller in Hartsville against the Coker Cobras as they got the first set win, or I should say they fell 25-19 in the first set, came back in set 2 to even things up, won a thriller of a third set at 28-26, and then was able to overcome the Cobras 15-8 in set number 5. As we're just moments away from getting the action started here on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. When we come back, we'll have the action. First serve inside the Wheeler Center as the Crusaders look to raise the red, and you'll get to see it all on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. We'll be right back. Want to get the most out of your next getaway or business trip? Get over to Belmont, North Carolina, and feel the Hamptonality. At the Hampton Inn Charlotte Belmont at Moncross, we give you friendly service at a great value. You'll rest easy on our clean and fresh Hampton bed. The crisp white linens and duvet give a fresh start to every guest each morning. Every morning begins with our free hot breakfast, including delicious waffles and hearty oatmeal. And with free Wi-Fi, you're guaranteed to stay connected. We're conveniently located just 8 miles from the center of Charlotte, 7 miles from the Charlotte Douglas International Airport, and just 1 mile from Belmont Abbey College. Book your stay by visiting Hampton.com or by calling 704-825-6100. Again, that's Hampton.com or calling 704-825-6100. Feel the Hamptonality at the preferred hotel for Crusaders athletics, the Hampton Inn Charlotte Belmont at Moncross.
Pain. Pain doesn't just work 9 to 5. Pain can work round the clock, hours and hours, without even thinking of taking a break. So when you're hurting, you don't want to wait for an appointment. You need relief now. Well, there is a solution. Ortho Carolina's Urgent Care can provide relief for the entire family when time is of the essence. Our after-hours clinics are conveniently located near you when you need us. Ortho Carolina's expert staff is ready to treat strains, sprains, minor dislocations, sports injuries, joint pain, and more. The next time you or a loved one is hurting on an evening or over the weekend, we'll be ready to help. It's the same state-of-the-art care, professionalism, and expertise that's made Ortho Carolina a leader in the Southeast. Pain doesn't happen when it's handy, and you shouldn't have to wait to get relief. Visit OrthoCarolina.com for a list of urgent care locations and hours. Ortho Carolina. You improve.
Just off the 485 loop, minutes from Center City, is a place where the golf is thrilling and the food is a treat for the palate. Pine Island Country Club. Matt Zavanet and his staff have created a golfing and social experience that is unique to the Charlotte Metro. The golf course is one of the best conditioned, aesthetically pleasing courses in the region. The knowledgeable and friendly staff are on the ready to help you play and look your best. The club pool offers a chance to spend the day with family, enjoying the warmth of summer and laughter with friends. If you're in the mood for a night of dinner and conversation? Then Pine Island is your spot. Prepare to be treated to an elegant evening at the place you belong, the approachably private Pine Island Country Club. Call Matt Zavanet to schedule your tour by calling 704-394-1422. That's 704-394-1422. Pine Island Country Club. Looking for the latest scores of your favorite Crusaders teams? www.abbeyathletics.com. Feature content such as coaches' interviews. www.abbeyathletics.com. Looking for the brand new Crusaders Corner? You got it. www.abbeyathletics.com. For stats, standing stories, and more, there's only one place in cyberspace when it comes to your Crusaders. That place, www.abbeyathletics.com. Conference Carolinas, competition amongst 10 colleges and universities across North and South Carolina as well as Tennessee. Over 3,000 student athletes competing at the highest level of NCAA Division II athletics with annual selections to postseason play. Conference Carolinas is dedicated to student athletes not only succeeding on the field, but in the classroom and after graduation. Keep up with us at conferencecarolinas.com and be sure to follow us at CONF Carolinas on our various social media platforms. Hi folks, Brian Rushing here. Earlier this year, my wife and I went looking for our dream home. You know, the perfect place to have family and friends over, sharing life together, and ultimately growing old together. You might be in the same boat that we were in. With interest rates at seriously low levels, my question for you is, why haven't you taken the step to home ownership? If you're still looking for the right agent, let me suggest to you Moss Realty. They have an unbelievable inventory at mossrealty.com, and the personal service is second to none. When I called 865-5555, Don Mott made it his personal objective to make sure that we would find our dream home. Folks, Moss Realty turns dream home searching into dream home living. Call them up, 704-865-5555, or go online to mossrealty.com. Moss Realty, turning dream home searching into dream home living. Crusaders Athletics on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network is brought to you by Pine Island Country Club, Domino's, Moss Realty, the Hampton Inn by Hilton at Montcross, and Ortho Carolina, you improve. We take you now to the www.abbeyathletics.com broadcast booth. It's time to raise the red on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. Back here on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network, our public address announcer Brooks Ledger taking care of this afternoon's starting lineups. Let's go ahead and take a look at them briefly for both clubs. This will be the lineup that Ryan Boer runs out for the King University Tornado. Jeff Sprayberry, the outside hitter extraordinaire, a 6'5 junior out of Oak Forest, Illinois, will be in the starting lineup, along with Sean Lohman, a right side hitter, a 6'4 junior out of Richmond, Virginia. Nick Drucker will be running the center position this afternoon, also a junior out of Richmond, Virginia. Drucker, a 6'2 junior for the King University Club. Eddie Mashikian will work the outside, a 5'11 redshirt senior out of Alpharetta, Georgia. Adrian Besson will be the middle blocker this afternoon, a 6'4" redshirt junior out of San Juan, Puerto Rico. Running the middle blocker today will be John Wheaton, a 6'8 sophomore out of Lockport, Illinois. And the libero this afternoon will be Jimmy Knuckles, a redshirt junior out of Kingsport, Tennessee. All up in that area there of the northeasternmost part of Tennessee. You've got the Tri-Cities, Johnson City, Bristol. You've got Kingsport. You've got a lot of area up there that King University does a lot of recruiting into, as well as the southwest corner of the state of Virginia. This is the starting lineup that the Crusaders will roll out this afternoon for Sean Manzi's club. Brennan Boehner will be in the middle blocker position, a 6'4" senior out of Cleveland, Ohio. Also up the middle will be Aaron Durkee's, a 6'3 junior out of San Jose, California. On the outside, you'll have Robert Nixon, a 6'4" senior out of Chester, Virginia, along with Liam Maxwell, a 6'5 freshman from Manahawkin, New Jersey. Playing the opposite side this afternoon will be a 6'7 junior out of Lidditz, Pennsylvania. That'll be Gavin Schaefer. and then you'll have Bryce Sullivan. He'll be the setter this afternoon, the 6'2" freshman out of Middletown, New Jersey. Your libero this afternoon, Robert Valentine, the 6'1" junior out of Simi Valley, California for the Crusaders, as the Crusaders look to make it 3 in a row as they'll take on this King University club. The Crusaders wearing the white jerseys with the gray shorts. King coming in with the navy blue tops and the gray shorts this afternoon. Belmont Abbey will be serving from right to left here in the first this first set. King will go from left to right here in the early going, as you see both clubs on the floor right now preparing for this matchup between the undefeated conference King University club, who is 2-2 in the conference schedule, as the Crusaders getting their first conference win of the year on Wednesday against Lees McRae. They come into this matchup 1-2 in conference, 2-4 overall. So we're about underway here. Brian Rushing here bringing the action to you. So glad that you could join us today. A beautiful day outside, a little chilly as we've had some colder temperatures in the last couple of days. But certainly it's very nice inside the Wheeler Center, where we'll see this afternoon's action between the Tornado and the Crusaders. Leah Maxwell will begin the first set with service for the Crusaders as they'll go from right to left. We have the signal, and we're ready to go inside the Wheeler Center. Maxwell will toss it high, send it across, and that's going to be a service ace for the Crusaders right off the word go, as Leah Maxwell topped it just beyond the 10-foot line. A perfect spot, and the Crusaders are off and rolling. Maxwell, again, that one covered by the Tornado. That swing right down the middle, taken by Adrian Besson. Besson with the kill, evens things up at 1 apiece. It's going back to serve for King will be Nick Drucker. Drucker, the club's leader in assists with 178 on the year. He's averaging close to 9.5 per set. Drucker tosses it high, sends it over, covered by Maxwell. Sullivan nears it over to Schaefer. That's going to be a tight play there. Boehner at the top of the net, gets it as high as he possibly can, cleans up the mess for the Crusaders. They have the 2-1 lead with Boehner back to serve. Brennan Boehner out of Cleveland, Ohio, will toss it high from down the middle, sends it over, didn't quite get it cleanly, pushes it wide right. It's tied at 2. Back to serve for King will be Eddie Mushikian. Mushikian, the redshirt senior out of Alpharetta, Georgia, floats it to the top of the net. Doesn't get over. The Crusaders retake the 3-2 lead here in the early going. Schaefer sends it over. Covered by Knuckles. Boehner gets under that one. Robert Nixon's going to have that go off the block. From first glance, it looks like Sean Lumen was the one that got the block for the Tornado, evening things up at 3 apiece. Back to serve will be Adrian Besson. Besson, the redshirt junior out of San Juan, Puerto Rico, floats it over to Maxwell. Now they'll go near side to Nixon. Nixon off the block again. The Crusaders will get Boehner back to Nixon one more time. That one's covered by Drucker. Besson will pass it over off the left hand, and Robert Nixon, standing tall, gets the solo block. The Crusaders have the 4-3 lead. Back to serve will be Nixon, as he had a pretty heated exchange there on that last rally or two. He'll toss it up from the far side, covered by Knuckles. That swing there is a big play. John Wheaton gets all of it, ties it up at 4. It's back to serve will be Sean Lumen. Lumen waiting for the signal, has it, will bounce it 4 to 5 times, and now go into a jump serve from the left side. Didn't get it cleanly, but almost tossed it up in such a way to where the Crusaders were off balance. Drucker tried to catch him off guard. Now Maxwell's going to push it toward the corner, and it'll be a net violation on the Tornado. The play was completed by Maxwell as he tucked it just inside the back line. But no matter, the net violation gives the Crusaders the point. They lead 5-4. Aaron Durkees to toss it high. Gets it over. Covered by Mushikian. Far side, the swing down the line to Sprayberry. Joust at the net. Going to be won by the Crusaders as the Crusaders take the 6-4 advantage here in the early going. Ryan Boer, the head coach for the King Tornado, questioning the down official as to whether or not that ball was eligible to be played by a Crusaders player. Durkees, that pass tight, and it's going to be a service ace for the Crusaders. Their second of the opening set. They have the 7-4 lead. It's King University, about 3.5 hours away from the Belmont Abbey campus. Got here a little bit before 11. That meant that they were out the door fairly early this morning, maybe still shaking off a little bit of the rust from the long journey. Sprayberry from the outside goes down the line, misses wide, and the Crusaders have doubled up the Tornado at 8-4. Durkees with another opportunity to serve. The junior from San Jose, California, by way of Chico State. Tosses high. Sends it to the top of the tape. Thought for a second it might trickle over. It does not. That stops the Belmont Abbey run, and that'll send Jeff Sprayberry back to serve with the Crusaders leading 8-5. Sprayberry tosses it high. Goes cross court, covered by Valentine. Sullivan, back row set to Nixon. That'll go out of bounds off the block of Nick Drucker. The Crusaders go back to 4. 4-point lead at 9-5 with Bryce Sullivan back to serve. The floater goes to Sprayberry. They'll go outside to Mushikian. Valentine gets a chance to play it. Schaefer kept it alive for the Crusaders. Mushikian one more time has it blocked by Boehner. They'll go outside once more, and he'll miss wide. As they went to Eddie Mushikian a number of times there, Robert Valentine got some help from Gavin Schaefer. The rally's kept alive by the Crusaders, and they are the beneficiary of the miss by Mushikian. Drucker on the tight pass. It's covered there. The Crusaders with an opportunity to swing as it goes out to Sprayberry. They'll go here on the near side, and King can't get it over the net. The Crusaders have a quick 11-5 lead. Ryan Boer wants a timeout. We'll take it with them as the Crusaders lead here in the opening set, 11-5. We'll be back in just a bit.
Gaston County is a great place to raise a family. The benefits of the Charlotte Metro blended with the familiarity of several bedroom communities make Gaston a wonderful place to become a first-time home buyer. But in a shifting market, it's paramount to find a company that will work even harder for you in a very competitive landscape. Might I suggest to you Moss Realty? Moss Realty wants to serve you as an advocate through the home buying process. I've seen the hard work of the staff on a personal level. The attention to detail and their knowledge of Gaston County is top-notch. Moss Realty can help you make a pleasure out of life's biggest purchase. Give them a call at 704-865-5555 or log on to mossrealty.com. The number again, 704-865-5555. Moss Realty can turn dream home searching into dream home living. That number one more time, 704-865-5555. That's Moss Realty.
Back here inside the Wheeler Center, the Crusaders with the quick 11-5 advantage as Bryce Sullivan will be back to serve. So the Crusaders look to maintain the run. Set by Drucker down the middle, and a big play by King's John Wheaton. Wheaton, a 6'8" middle hitter, unloaded on that one. Cuts the run off for the Crusaders. King gets back to within 5. Sullivan off the bump to Schaefer. Schaefer misses it long. 11-7 the score. Wheaton flips it over to Valentine. Now they'll go quick side set to Boehner, and they'll call the net violation on King. I believe the guilty party there ended up being Adrian Besson, as Maxwell will come back for his second opportunity to serve at 12-7 in favor of the Crusaders. So glad that you could join us this afternoon. And Liam Maxwell, that's a patented move there for Maxwell as he cuts that one cross court about 1.5 feet inside the sideline, giving the Crusaders the 6-point advantage at 13-7. That's a shot that he goes to with regularity, and it is a real winner. It's covered there, and the Crusaders can't get that one as Adrian Besson with the kill makes it a 13-8 score, as that'll send back Nick Drucker to serve. A doubleheader of action today on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. We'll be back with you at about 5 o'clock today for wrestling action, the wrestling season home finale against Davidson. Valentine digs that serve out. They'll go to Nixon. Nixon tried to go down the line off the block. He misses. It's 13-9 in favor of the Crusaders. Drucker back to serve. He'll toss it high, sends it over. A little bit of a change up to Nixon. They'll go off the bump as Maxwell didn't quite get the set that he was looking for. Mashikian will take it off the block, and we'll have a net violation on the Crusaders. And I believe that might have been number 1, maybe Brennan Boehner, maybe Bryce Sullivan. I didn't get to see where the official went with that. The score now 13-10 in favor of the Crusaders, but King trying to climb back into this one. Drucker gets it over to Nixon. That's going to be a difficult play as they will not be able to recover it. It's a service ace for Drucker. 13-11 the score. Drucker now with the signal. Will bounce it a couple times from basically about the same spot that Brennan Boehner would serve, and he puts it into the net. So the Crusaders go back up by 3 at 14-11. Boehner will now serve essentially in the same spot that we just saw Drucker serve on the opposite side of the net. Boehner sends it over, gets it to Sprayberry. Drucker to Besson, and Besson goes right down the middle. As the Crusaders are going one-on-one with Besson, and Besson's basically just taking it right down the middle. 14-12 the score as Eddie Mashikian goes back to serve. Maxwell to Sullivan. They'll go to Schaefer. That goes off the block. Sprayberry gets the solo, and the Crusaders find themselves ahead by just 1 as King trying to get back into this contest. Moshikian will flip it over with the knuckler. Maxwell to Sullivan. And Aaron Durkee had to manipulate his body in such a way that he was actually able to hit it almost like a flip shot behind his head. He gets the kill, 15-13, in favor of the Abbey with Schaefer back to serve. He'll put that into the net. Getting under it is Jimmy Knuckles. That's going to go off the block. Sprayberry with the kill. And it goes back to a 1-point difference. Jimmy Knuckles came in at just the perfect time to somehow salvage the play for the Tornado, is what it looked like was going to be a pure ace for Schaefer. Nixon covered by Mushikian. Sprayberry takes the swing. It's covered by Valentine. 10-foot swing by Maxwell, and they'll say that he was on inside the 10-foot line when he made the attack, and that ties things up at 15. Maxwell, Sullivan is going to get some help from Drucker for King. They'll try it one more time. Durkee's that time covered by Drucker. Now Besson to Mashikian. Valentine will get the cover. They'll go to Maxwell off the 10-foot line, and that's going to go out of bounds. Point to the Crusaders as they retake the lead at 16-15. Robert Nixon back for his second turn behind the service line. So Robert Nixon will toss it up, send it over, covered by Mushikian. They'll go far side to Sprayberry. He had to adjust with the left hand. Now the Crusaders, as Boehner will take the swing from behind the 10-foot line. Drucker goes near side. That's going to go off the block of Maxwell. 15-15 the score. give the kill to Lumen, and that ties things up at 16 as Lumen goes back to serve. So the Crusaders had established as much as a 5-point lead here in this first set. King has been able to come back and tie things up. The left-hand floater to Valentine. Now Nixon. Nixon goes to Maxwell, and that's covered by Wheaton. And Wheaton just basically did little more than just stand at the net and throw his hands up. And King University has the lead again. So Lumen with the signal will bounce it multiple times. Now toss it high with the left hand. Didn't get that one cleanly. So it looked like he was trying to cut it, but he never got to the right part of the volleyball. Ties things up at 17. Aaron Durkee's back to serve. For the Crusaders, the way that they have been playing as of late has been much better. But I would think against this King club, they need to get this first set win. Mashikian out to Drucker, far side to Sprayberry. He adjusts with the left hand. It goes out of bounds. The point to the Crusaders. They lead 18-17. Durkees will hold it out in front. Now toss it extraordinarily high. And that's going to go into the tape. And they'll get an opportunity as Wheaton, the Crusaders calling for 4 touches. They're not going to get that call as Schaefer will go over to Maxwell, and that's going to get blocked off of Wheaton. The point to the Crusaders, 19-17. Ryan Boer, the head coach for King, contemplating that maybe Schaefer, with the double contact, set it basically behind his head. It's not the way the officials saw it, so they played on. Durkee's got all of that one a little too much. Sends it beyond the back line. 19-18 in favor of the Crusaders with Jeff Sprayberry back to serve. Sprayberry, the serve, gets it over. That was firm to Valentine. Now they'll go with a 10-foot set to Nixon. He floats it over. Now Sprayberry from the back row, and Valentine's not able to come up with it as we're tied at 19 all over again. I will say this about Jeff Sprayberry. If this volleyball thing never works out, he could always try his hand at rugby or football, as he is a strong, strong young man. Sean Manzi wants to take a timeout. We'll take it with him as we're tied up at 19 here in the opening set. This is the Belmont Abbey Sports Network.
Gaston County is a great place to raise a family. The benefits of the Charlotte Metro, blended with the familiarity of several bedroom communities, make Gaston a wonderful place to become a first-time home buyer. But in a shifting market, it's paramount to find a company that will work even harder for you in a very competitive landscape. Might I suggest to you Moss Realty? Moss Realty wants to serve you as an advocate through the home buying process. I've seen the hard work of the staff on a personal level. The attention to detail and their knowledge of Gaston County is top-notch. Moss Realty can help you make a pleasure out of life's biggest purchase. Give them a call at 704-865-5555 or log on to mossrealty.com. The number again, 704-865-5555. Moss Realty can turn dream home searching into dream home living. That number one more time, 704-865-5555. That's Moss Realty.
Back here inside the Wheeler Center, it's Jeff Sprayberry back to serve at 19 apiece. Taking a look at the numbers, we've seen some long rallies here, as it's indicated by some of the attack percentages. Sullivan tried the second ball. They'll go to Sprayberry off the back row. And Sprayberry's feeling it early as he gets the kill, and the Tornado retake a lead at 20-19. So Crusaders look to try to receive the side out here and tie this thing back up. Valentine with the dig. They'll go back row set to Nixon. Nixon got under it a little bit, out of bounds. And now King with the 2-point advantage. 21-19 our score. This King attacking just at 174. They have 9 kills on 23 total attacks. The Crusaders have an .083 percentage. So that's dug out by Valentine. They'll go to Maxwell. Maxwell off the block of Wheaton. They'll try Maxwell again. He'll touch it up. They'll try once more. It's Drucker on the second ball. Now to Maxwell. That's going to go out of bounds off the block of Wheaton. 21-20 the score. The Tornado lead, but the Crusaders have a side out. Bryce Sullivan back to serve. This is getting to the part of the match on Wednesday to where the Crusaders found themselves 2 set points behind that they were able to come back and get the win of the first set as Mashikian unloads there. King takes the 2-point advantage back at 22-20 with Wheaton back to serve. John Wheaton floats it across to Nixon. They'll go to Maxwell. So that's going to get covered by Sprayberry. Wheaton will bump it over, and the free ball gives the Crusaders the chance. And Boehner on the quick set with Sullivan goes up fast, puts it down even faster. The Crusaders will have the side out, down 22-21. It's Maxwell back to serve. That is one of Boehner's go-to plays. He loves to get the ball on the rise and hammer it down quickly. It's Knuckles with the dig, Mashikian. Now Sullivan to Maxwell. That's going to go off the block of Adrian Besson, and we've tied things up at 22. A very good adjustment there for the Crusaders, tying things up as Maxwell goes back for his second consecutive service. Sprayberry. Besson takes something off of it. Boehner with the good agility gets it over. That's a tight pass, and Nixon's able to play it off the block. And the point will go to the Crusaders as it goes off of Drucker, and the Crusaders take the lead back. A very wise play from Robert Nixon, taking a tight pass, what he knew to be, off the block. The Crusaders retake the lead. Maxwell. Swing from Mashikian. Mashikian trying to get it past Valentine. Valentine not able to come up with the dig, and we've tied things up again at 23. It's Nick Drucker back to serve once again. Drucker. That's going to be a service ace as he picked a good time to pull one out as it's 24-23. It's the service ace right down the middle. Sean Manzi's going to have to take a timeout. We'll take it with him here on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network.
With Domino's Piece of the Pie rewards, you earn a free medium 2-topping pizza after just 6 online orders of $10 or more. Need some reasons to order? Throw a half birthday party for your husband.
Happy 36 and a half.
Or your cat. Or get in touch with your vegetarian side.
Hold the pepperoni.
But we think free pizza's reason enough. Start earning points toward free pizza with our $5.99 mix and match deal at Domino's.com today. Rewards program is open only to U.S. residents 13 and older with a pizza profile account. Only one order per day earns points. Complete details at Domino's.com/rewards. You must select this limited time offer. Prices, participation, and charges may vary.
Conference Carolinas. Competition amongst 10 colleges and universities across North and South Carolina as well as Tennessee. Over 3,000 student athletes competing at the highest level of NCAA Division II athletics with annual selections to postseason play. Conference Carolinas is dedicated to student athletes not only succeeding on the field, but in the classroom and after graduation. Keep up with us at conferencecarolinas.com. Be sure to follow us at CONF Carolinas on our various social media platforms.
Back here inside the Wheeler Center. Set point for the Tornado is Nick Drucker. Back to serve. He's got 2 aces so far in the opening set, none bigger than the one that he just got at 23 all. So that serve to Nixon firm, as it'll be a tough play for Nixon as he gets it over. Mashikian goes to Drucker, now to Sprayberry. The Crusaders going to have to scramble to get this one over as Nixon does. Sprayberry to Drucker outside to Mashikian, and that's going to go off of Valentine. And that's going to be it. First set to King, 25-23. We'll be back on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network with set 2.
Pain. Pain doesn't just work 9 to 5. Pain can work round the clock, hours and hours, without even thinking of taking a break. So when you're hurting, you don't want to wait for an appointment. You need relief now. Well, there is a solution. Ortho Carolina's Urgent Care can provide relief for the entire family when time is of the essence. Our after-hours clinics are conveniently located near you when you need us. Ortho Carolina's expert staff is ready to treat strains, sprains, minor dislocations, sports injuries, joint pain, and more. The next time you or a loved one is hurting on an evening or over the weekend, we'll be ready to help. It's the same state-of-the-art care, professionalism, and expertise that's made Ortho Carolina a leader in the Southeast. Pain doesn't happen when it's handy, and you shouldn't have to wait to get relief. Visit orthocarolina.com for a list of urgent care locations and hours. Ortho Carolina. You improve.
Gaston County is a great place to raise a family. The benefits of the Charlotte Metro blended with the familiarity of several bedroom communities make Gaston a wonderful place to become a first-time home buyer. But in a shifting market, it's paramount to find a company that will work even harder for you in a very competitive landscape. Might I suggest to you Moss Realty? Moss Realty wants to serve you as an advocate through the home buying process. I've seen the hard work of the staff on a personal level. The attention to detail and their knowledge of Gaston County is top-notch. Moss Realty can help you make a pleasure out of life's biggest purchase. Give them a call at 704-865-5555 or log on to mossrealty.com. The number again, 704-865-5555. Moss Realty can turn dream home searching into dream home living. That number one more time, 704-865-5555. That's Moss Realty.
And we're back here inside the Wheeler Center for set number 2. Folks, if 2017 is the year that you find yourself making life's biggest purchase, then let me suggest to you, especially if you're in the Charlotte metro area, that you give Moss Realty a call, as they can help you navigate the murky waters of home buying and home ownership in a very strange and at times tumultuous world of the home market. Give Moss Realty a call at 704-865-5555 or log on to mossrealty.com, and they can do for you what they did for me, as we'll be celebrating our 2nd anniversary in our home in Western Gaston County coming up in April, and we love it even still today. A beautiful home, as we got a great deal on it, and we can thank Moss Realty for that assistance in making that purchase such a positive one. Again, the number 704-865-5555 or mossrealty.com. The Crusaders fall short in that first set, 25-23, as they had a lead in the early going. King was able to chip away with it, and then they went back and forth in the final portions of that set, as Nick Drucker with the serves at the very end to throw off the Crusaders' offensive attack. So he got an ace and then really set the tone for the Crusaders, or for the Tornado against the Crusaders in that final set point. Drucker to serve. Firmly to Valentine. Now Sullivan. Back row set to Nixon. King will try to free it over. Sprayberry with the changeup. Sullivan. Far side to Nixon. I should say to Maxwell. They'll play it off the second ball now, Mushikian. Sullivan back to Nixon, off the block, it's still in play. Durkees to Maxwell, still in play. Nixon over to Sprayberry. Now they'll go near side to Mushikian, and Mushikian gets the kill. And this has been a very, very tightly contested match, as the attack percentages haven't looked extraordinary, but just tells you how competitive these two clubs have been with each other here in the early going. Service error ties things up for the Crusaders. It's going back to serve will be Aaron Durkees. Early going here in set number 2. Durkees hits the changeup. They'll go left side. The kill made by Sean Lemon. 2-1 in favor of the Tornado, with Mushikian back to serve. Mushikian floats it over to Maxwell. They'll bring it back to Maxwell, take the swing. And now a second opportunity, and Sprayberry on the second ball hammers it across, and the Tornado have the 3-1 lead. Certainly the Crusaders playing their third match in the last 4 days. They've won 2 consecutive matches. Could be a little leg weary, but they're going to have to answer the bell against a very good King University club in Conference Carolinas play. Brennan Boehner with the kill makes it 3-2 in favor of the Tornado. Sullivan will be back to serve. .258 attack percentage for King in that first set as they were paced in that opening set by Mushikian's 4 kills. As Schaefer's able to keep it in play, that's a miraculous type shot there for Schaefer, and they'll still have to continue working as that ball's not going to get covered by Maxwell as it's 4-2 in favor of King. King has a lot of potent power on the outsides, and they've shown it on numerous occasions. Schaefer coming up with a circus-type play just to get it across. Besson to serve to Maxwell. Sullivan to Boehner. Off the block, kept alive. We'll see what they can do here as Sprayberry can't get it off the net. Crusaders trail by 1 at 4-3 with Liam Maxwell back to serve. Maxwell tops it over to Knuckles, and the swing from Wheaton goes off the block of Boehner. 5-3 in favor of the Tornado. Back to serve will be Sean Lemon. Lemon, the junior, out of Richmond, Virginia, a regional hotbed for college volleyball is Richmond, Virginia. It's Maxwell to Nixon. Nixon has it covered by Lemon. Drucker takes it all the way across. That's going to go off of Boehner. Now they'll get another opportunity. Nixon tries to go far corner. Mushikian covered by Valentine. Maxwell has that blocked by Wheaton. And when Wheaton goes airborne, he is essentially 2 feet above the net. A real weapon for Ryan Boer's club as they've doubled up the Crusaders in set 2 by a 6-3 score. Left-hand serve. Valentine to Sullivan. Schaefer tries to push it off the block. It never gets over. King with the 7-3 advantage. Folks, in a moment, we're going to make the press row area interactive for you today. Give you an opportunity to chime into the contest as that serve sails just a touch long. 7-4 in favor of King. Boehner back to serve for the Abbey. Give you the email address here after this point. So you can chime in, let us know that you're tuning in, or if you've got a question for us, we'll deal with that too. Boehner to Mushikian. Wheaton goes off the block, gets the kill. It's 8-4 in favor of the Tornado with Sprayberry back to serve. Brian Rushing at BAC.edu. That's BRIANRUSHING at BAC.edu. I'd love to hear from you this afternoon. That serve is going to find the corner. Sprayberry tucked it in perfectly, about a foot on either side of each line. 9-4 in favor of the Tornado. Sprayberry will toss it up, send it over in the exact same spot, missed a little bit. That service error will get the Crusaders back to within 4. Gavin Schaefer back to serve. Service from Schaefer misses on the left sideline. The lead 10-5 in favor of the Tornado. Wheaton back to serve. Floats it over to Maxwell. Sullivan quickly to Durkees. Durkees found a gap between Sprayberry and Wheaton, and it's a 10-6 second set. Nixon back to serve. Whether you follow the Tornado this afternoon or you want to raise the red with the Crusaders, feel free to chime in this afternoon on the broadcast. As Mushikian has that covered by Nixon. King will take advantage of a second opportunity, and Besson with the quick set there gets the kill. The lead back to 5 at 11-6. And Nick Drucker back to serve for the Tornado. Drucker Firmly out to Maxwell. Sullivan gets under it. They'll go to Maxwell, dug out by Sprayberry. They'll come near side to Mashikian, who hits a little dink shot over Durkees and Sullivan, and nobody can get there. As the lead now doubling up again, 12-6 the score in favor of the Tornado. Up a set already in this contest. That's a tight serve from Drucker as Durkees is able to put it between the block of Lumen and Besson. So the Crusaders will have Aaron Durkees back to serve at 12-7. Durkees holds it out in front of him, and now will go into his serve. Sprayberry over to Mashikian. Mashikian takes it off the body of Durkees. Another big swing from Eddie Mashikian. 13-7 the score. Sean Manzi wants to take a timeout. We'll take it with him on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. King leads in set 2.
Pain doesn't just work 9 to 5. Pain can work round the clock, hours and hours, without even thinking of taking a break. So when you're hurting, you don't want to wait for an appointment. You need relief now. Well, there is a solution. OrthoCarolina's Urgent Care can provide relief for the entire family when time is of the essence. Our after-hours clinics are conveniently located near you when you need us. OrthoCarolina's expert staff is ready to treat strains, sprains, minor dislocations, sports injuries, joint pain, and more. The next time you or a loved one is hurting on an evening or over the weekend, we'll be ready to help. It's the same state-of-the-art care, professionalism, and expertise that's made OrthoCarolina a leader in the Southeast. Pain doesn't happen when it's handy, and you shouldn't have to wait to get relief. Visit OrthoCarolina.com for a list of urgent care locations and hours. OrthoCarolina. You improved.
(13-7) second set score. King out in front. They have the one set advantage as they won the opener 25-23. So Crusaders going to try to see if they can climb back into this one in the second set. It's Eddie Mashikian back to serve. There's a ton of action here for our Belmont Abbey College teams as Maxwell's going to take it off the block, makes it 13-8. We'll try to give you updates as we get them. Women's basketball will get started here in about 25 minutes from now. It's Bryce Sullivan back to serve. Baseball playing right now at Newberry, as well as men's and women's tennis. Drucker near side to Sprayberry, covered by Sullivan. Valentine keeps it alive. Maxwell will free it over. The pass tight, and they can't get it over. That's going to be 4 contacts. The Crusaders, by their sheer hustle and determination, able to scratch out a point there. They trail now by 4 in set number 2. That pass tight, popped over to Lumen, covered by Sullivan. Valentine looking for Schaefer. Schaefer takes it cross court, dug out by the Tornado. Mashikian, Boehner keeps it alive. Now Maxwell has that covered by Drucker. The swing from Sprayberry goes cross court, and Valentine can't do anything with it. 14-9 the lead in favor of the Tornado. King is starting to really show their teeth offensively here in the second set. So they're hitting at a 5:29 clip prior to that last point. Besson out to Valentine. They'll go back row set to Nixon as that's going to come over the net. Crusaders with another opportunity. Schaefer frees it over. Lumen goes cross court. Sullivan can't come up with it. 15-9 the score. Is the pacing and the dynamic really starting to work in favor of the Tornado here in this second set? They really feel good about how they're approaching this with a set advantage. Boehner goes off the tape. It'll be a point for the Tornado. Boehner buried that right into the top of the tape. No Tornado made the touch. The Crusaders find themselves down by 7. That's going to get over. Valentine keeps it alive. Sullivan frees it over. A chance for the King team to attack. And Wheaton has a little favor turned against him as Brennan Boehner matches up, gets the kill block. The Crusaders will take the side out, down 6. Today, a Belmont Abbey Sports Network doubleheader. We'll be back at 5 o'clock with wrestling. As Wheat sends that one long, and the Crusaders rallying with a pair of side outs themselves, trail the King Tornado by 5, 16-11. Maxwell sends it over to Mushikian. They'll go back to Mushikian, who sends it long once again, and they're saying off the floor that there's a touch. The floor official acknowledging the touch, making it 17-11 in favor of the Tornado. Is Sean Lemon back to serve. Lemon with the left hand goes to Valentine. Now to Schaefer on the cross-court dugout, and Sprayberry takes the swing. Maxwell has that blocked by Wheaton. Sullivan one more time to the outside. Nixon now to Valentine. Schaefer on the reversal, takes a little something off of it. And King will look to attack. Lemon has it blocked as I believe Robert Nixon, Brennan Boehner, and Gavin Schaefer formed the wall. If I'm scoring it, Brennan Boehner gets the solo, but the Crusaders get the point. Boehner back to serve. Crowd still filing into this one in this afternoon contest. Boehner hits the tape. Mushikian with the dig. They'll go to Sprayberry down the line. A net violation. I believe it might have been Gavin Schaefer into the net. 18-12 the score in favor of the Tornado. Jeff Sprayberry back to serve. Sprayberry sends it over to Boehner. Crusaders will look to attack with Nixon. And they'll call a net violation. I believe that one might have been Wheaton or Drucker to get called for the net violation, making it 18-13. Schaefer will serve with the side out. Floats it over, and that's going to go just long. And now it's been overruled by the chair official. So the service ace for Schaefer makes it 18-14. Schaefer will flip it forward, gets it over to Sprayberry. They'll pass it near side to Mushikian. And that's a good play call there from Ryan Boer's troops. As they went far side with Drucker, brought it all the way back for the kill. As King now leads 19-14. Wheaton will serve it over. Stationary service. Now Durkee's. That ball kept alive, but not before the Crusaders end up with the point at 19-15. Robert Nixon back to serve. Emails starting to pour in. I'll start to get to them as quickly as I possibly can. You can send yours to Brian Rushing at bac.edu. Mushikian will take the swing. It's covered by the Crusaders. Sprayberry from the back row sends it wide. 19-16, the Crusaders are back to within 3. I want to say hello to Kirsten and Mike Sullivan checking out the action from the Jersey Shore this afternoon. Thank you so much for checking out today's action. As Liam Maxwell and Aaron Durkee's double up for the block, the Crusaders have trimmed it to within 2 at 19-17. Climbing the hill here in the second half. We'll see if they can draw even. Nixon puts it into the tape. That's a killer. 20-17. A couple of good services there. Gets you right back in this contest. They've trimmed the lead to at least 3. Nick Drucker back to serve for the Tornado. Boehner to Sullivan. Sullivan goes with the second ball. Drucker covers. They'll go to Mushikian, who hits the changeup. Now to Sullivan. And now Maxwell is going to get the kill. Boer not excited by the lack of a double contact call there. I would almost side with him, thinking that maybe there was a double contact there. Sullivan looked like he got clipped on the left leg as he was setting the ball up. The call not made. The Crusaders get the advantage with the point. Durkee's with the service to Sprayberry. They'll go near side. Here to Lemon. They'll try it once again now with Mushikian, who goes to Dirk. He's kept alive, and the Crusaders keep the play going. Now King will try to attack Mushikian, and Durkee's again. And now Maxwell will take the swing, and it's covered by Adrian Besson. The Crusaders had gotten themselves back into the point, and Adrian Besson goes mano-a-mano with Maxwell and gets the block kill. It's 21-18. It's Mushikian back to serve. So close. Nixon, back row, covered by the Tornado, and Sprayberry pounds it down the line. Schaefer can't do anything with it. With 22-18 the score. Mushikian over to Nixon. They'll go back far side to Maxwell. Mushikian keeps it alive, and the Crusaders have got to scramble to put an attack on. As Maxwell gets it again. It goes out of bounds, no touch. 23-18 the score. Sean Manzi wants a timeout. We'll take it with him. It's the Crusaders trailing 23-18 here in set number 2. We'll be right back. Looking for up-to-the-minute scores of your favorite Crusader sports? www.abbeyathletics.com. Feature content, including coaches' interviews. www.abbeyathletics.com. Crusaders broadcast on demand. That's right, www.abbeyathletics.com. Your online source for all things Crusaders can be found in one place, www.abbeyathletics.com.
You order Domino's Pizza, and your pizza parade begins. Marching bands dressed as pizza slices play. Tigers eating pizza roar. And then someone rains on your pizza parade.
I want salad instead.
So Domino's is introducing salads. Now you get pizza, they can get salad, and the pizza parade is saved. Order a medium 2-topping pizza and a delicious Domino's salad for only $5.99 each. 2-item minimum. You must ask for this limited time offer. Prices, participation, delivery area, and charges may vary.
Inside the Wheeler Center with Thomas Eichhorn running the camera this afternoon. Brian Rushing here with you. So Crusaders find themselves down 23-18 in set 2. The Tornado of King University, they have the 1-set lead. They would like to go up a commanding 2 sets in this contest, and they're knocking at the door with Eddie Mushikian back to serve. On a beautiful Saturday afternoon in the western Piedmont of North Carolina. So glad that you've tuned in. Boehner with the dig, or I should say with the swing. Adrian Besson can't dig it out. The Crusaders will get the side out. Pierce Pleopole back to serve for the Abbey. Pleopole with 40 assists last night in the 5-set thriller win over Coker, in for his first tour of duty this afternoon. The service to Mushikian, and that's going to be maybe a service ace. It will ultimately be a point for the Crusaders. As Pleopole comes in immediately, gets the point for the Crusaders off the service, now 23-20. Sean Manzi has been going with the platoon at the setter position with both setters freshmen this year. As Sprayberry has that dug out by Pleopole. Now the Crusaders will free it over. We'll see how King attacks this. Drucker goes to Besson. Besson tucks it just inside the line. We'll have a set point forthcoming for the Tornado with Besson to serve. King in this second set, going into that point, had been at a .270 attack percentage. Floats it over to Valentine. Now Pleopole. That's a good pass to Maxwell, and the Crusaders will get the bounce. Maxwell with the kill, the Crusaders with the point. They trail 24-21. This is going to be a tall task here if they're able to draw even in this one. Maxwell cuts it. It's going to go into the net. Drucker, it's going to go out of bounds. The point to the Crusaders. The lead trimmed to 2. It's Maxwell back again. That pass is tight, and it's going to go just over the net. As Nick Drucker actually looked like he was going to try to make the second contact, he let it go by, and it ended up being a winner. for the Tornado as they win 25-22 in the second set. When we come back, we'll have set 3 on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network.
Want to get the most out of your next getaway or business trip? Get over to Belmont, North Carolina, and feel the Hamptonality. At the Hampton Inn Charlotte Belmont at Moncross, we give you friendly service at a great value. You'll rest easy on our clean and fresh Hampton bed. The crisp white linens and duvet give a fresh start to every guest each morning. Every morning begins with our free hot breakfast, including delicious waffles and hearty oatmeal. And with free Wi-Fi, you're guaranteed to stay connected. We're conveniently located just 8 miles from the center of Charlotte, 7 miles from the Charlotte Douglas International Airport, and just 1 mile from Belmont Abbey College. Book your stay by visiting Hampton.com or by calling 704-825-6100. Again, that's Hampton.com or calling 704-825-6100. Feel the Hamptonality at the preferred hotel for Crusaders Athletics, the Hampton Inn Charlotte Belmont at Moncross.
Pain. Pain doesn't just work 9 to 5. Pain can work round the clock, hours and hours, without even thinking of taking a break. So when you're hurting, you don't want to wait for an appointment. You need relief now. Well, there is a solution. Ortho Carolina's Urgent Care can provide relief for the entire family when time is of the essence. Our after-hours clinics are conveniently located near you when you need us. Ortho Carolina's expert staff is ready to treat strains, sprains, minor dislocations, sports injuries, joint pain, and more. The next time you or a loved one is hurting on an evening or over the weekend, we'll be ready to help. It's the same state-of-the-art care, professionalism, and expertise that's made Ortho Carolina a leader in the Southeast. Pain doesn't happen when it's handy, and you shouldn't have to wait to get relief. Visit orthocarolina.com for a list of urgent care locations and hours. Ortho Carolina. You improve.
Back here inside the Wheeler Center. So we've played 2 sets, 2 tightly contested sets that have both gone the way of King University. As King University here in this contest is hit for a .282 attack percentage overall. They were at 300% in the second set as they've got arguably the best pair of outside hitters in combo, in tandem, and Jeff Sprayberry and Eddie Mushiki, and those pair have been huge in this contest early as they each have 9 kills. They have taken the lion's share of the attacks. The pair of them have 43 out of the 71 total attacks, as those 2 young men are each 1 kill away from double figures here in this contest. You take a look at the Crusaders. They've just been not as able to get things going on the offensive side, as the Crusaders have been attacking at just a 162 average. That's a good 120 points less than what the Tornado have been able to attack at this afternoon. As we'll begin the third set, the Crusaders down a pair of sets. Gavin Schaefer will look to begin service for the Crusaders here in set number 3. Sprayberry. Besson pushes it long. The point to the Crusaders. The Crusaders dropped the opening set to Coker last night, took sets 2 and 3. Coker drew even to force a 5th set, where the Crusaders won 15-8 in that final set in Hartsville. As the kill for the Tornado evens the score. Nick Drucker back to serve. Drucker serves it over and into the net. The point to the Crusaders. Belmont Abbey leads 2-1. Robert Nixon back to serve. Nixon cuts it cross court to Mashiki, and they'll go to Besson. And Liam Maxwell and Aaron Durkee's teaming up on the block there. It might have been Durkee's that got the lion's share of the block, but the Crusaders lead 3-1. Nixon goes down the line, covered by Sprayberry. They'll go far side to Mashikian. That's going to go off Durkee's. And Durkee's flexing a little muscle as he gets the block toward the corner as he's got a pair consecutively. 4-1 lead for the Abbey here in set number 3. Signs of life still being exhibited by the Crusaders. So put it into the net, which stops the run at 4-2 in favor of the Crusaders with Eddie Mashikian back to serve. Want to say hello to Brett Sullivan catching the action this afternoon on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network from the nation's capital. Brett, thank you so much for tuning in as that swing from the 10-foot line goes out of bounds. The point to the Tornado. So already, folks, representing the Jersey Shore and the nation's capital. So glad that you're tuning in to the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. And that's Liam Maxwell showing a little sleight of hand there as it looked like Nick Drucker was anticipating him putting it in the center of the floor. Drucker made the move and he hit it behind him toward the corner. So the Crusaders get the point. They lead 5-3. Aaron Durkee's to serve. Lumen goes cross court and he tucks it just inside the sideline. 5-4 advantage for the Abbey as Adrian Besson goes back to serve. Trying to get some scores from other events involving Belmont Abbey teams as soon as I can get to them. Women's basketball about to tip off from Franklin Springs, Georgia here in just a moment. Drucker to Mashikian. Lumen will take the swing off the block of Boehner, and we're tied at 5. Folks, if you do want to send me an email this afternoon during the course of the broadcast day, Brian Rushing at bac.edu. That's BrianRushing at bac.edu. Sullivan brings a good pass to Maxwell, and Wheaton and Lumen cover things up. The Tornado have the 6-5 lead here in set number 3. This is a very good volleyball team at the net, as good as anything I've seen in Conference Carolinas. It's Maxwell trying to get back into the play. Wheaton takes the swing and misses wide. The Crusaders have knotted it up at 6 apiece. Bryce Sullivan back to serve. Sprayberry to Wheaton, covered by Sullivan. Nixon will put a good pass to Maxwell. That's covered by Drucker. Sprayberry goes off the block of Schaefer. 7-6 in favor of the Tornado. Lumen back to serve. Sean Lumen sends it over with the left hand to Valentine. Boehner. That's a good play. They're saying it's still alive, and now they'll blow the whistle. And now Ryan Boer doesn't understand why the whistle blew. Wheaton doesn't understand either. So the point will go to the Crusaders tying it up. Boer thought for sure that Lumen was able to get underneath the volleyball, preventing it from hitting the floor. The floor official letting Boer know that ball's going to hit the tape and it's going to go just wide as Maxwell literally about 4 inches from another service ace cross court. 8-7 lead for the Tornado. Jeff Sprayberry back to serve. Sprayberry tosses it high, sends it over to Valentine. Schaefer to Sprayberry. They'll go far side to Mashikian. Mashikian one-on-one, and he paints the near sideline, making it 9-7 in favor of the Tornado. Maxwell with the dig. They'll go to Nixon. Nixon is going to take it off the block. Makes it 9-8. The Crusaders will get the side out. Brennan Boehner back to serve. Boehner sends it across to Mashikian. Now to Sprayberry off the back row, and Durkee's again is having himself quite a set as he gets the solo block once more. And that ties it up at 9-9. Boehner to Sprayberry. Now they'll go to Wheaton. And Wheaton didn't have to go far as Drucker had it right there beside of him. Wheaton goes up high and essentially just slams it straight down. You don't have to coach 6'8". It helps to have it. Maxwell off the block, covered by Sprayberry on the dig. They'll go to Mashikian, and Mashikian gets the kill off the touch. I tell you what, you take the likes of Eddie Mashikian, Jeff Sprayberry, you add in a little Adrian Besson, and then you've got Wheaton, who's able to block with anybody in this conference. You've got a pretty good attack set up for the King University Tornadoes. That'll be a net violation on King, giving the Crusaders the point. They trail 11-10 with Gavin Schaefer back to serve. Schaefer into the net, 12-10 in favor of the Tornado. Nick Drucker back to serve. Drucker will toss it high. Maxwell with the dig. Sullivan back to Maxwell. They'll go off the tape. And now Sprayberry from the back row. Valentine keeps it alive for the Abbey. Nixon down the line, covered by Drucker. Sprayberry didn't get all of that one cleanly. Now the Crusaders with the chance. Knuckles with the dig. They'll go far side to Mashikian. Mashikian once again goes cross court, finds the angle, and it's 13-10 in favor of the Tornado. Now, Eddie Mashikian, actually one of the more undersized outside hitters in this conference, but has extraordinary athleticism for this King club. And that's going to be a service ace. It's 14-10. It's King trying to distance themselves in this one and win this in straights. That serve just a little long. Brennan Boehner spotting it quickly, realizing it was going to be just a little bit beyond the back line. Robert Nixon will be back to serve. 14-11 score. Sprayberry to Drucker. Now Besson. Kept alive. Valentine's going to send it over. Besson didn't get it at its apex, but was able to get just enough of it to make it 15-11 in favor of the Tornado. Mashikian back to serve. Gets it over. Boehner sets it high to Sullivan, and now to Maxwell. And Maxwell is able to get it to the floor. It's the lead back to 3 for King, as Aaron Durkee's back to serve at 15-12 down. Durkee tosses it high, covered by Sprayberry. Sprayberry goes off of Schaefer, gets the kill. The lead back up to 4 as Besson to serve for the Tornado. Boehner off the block will get a second opportunity. They go to Maxwell now, and that's going to be Wheaton and Lumen once again doing the job at the net. The lead stretches back to 5 at 17-12. Boehner one-on-one there with Wheaton, is able to work around it and find the angle. The Crusaders will get the side out. Bryce Sullivan back to serve. Drucker goes to Lumen, and he had nobody there. Drucker was going far side for sure. When he went near side, there was nobody there, and Lumen basically doing it like it was practice. Pierce Pleopole back into the match in place of Bryce Sullivan. 18-13 advantage for the Tornado. Sprayberry on the dig. They'll go back row set to Mashikian, who backhands it. Now Pleopole to Nixon. Off the block. Schaefer keeps that up for Maxwell. And Maxwell basically tossed it into a Bermuda Triangle. 3 King players there. Neither of them made an effort to get to it. As the Crusaders trail by 4 at 18-14. Leah Maxwell back to serve. Mashikian to Wheaton, hitting the runner. And if you watch women's volleyball here at Belmont Abbey, you know that Corrine Norwood and Caitlin Hankins prior to that love that play quite often. Wheaton at 6'8" basically takes the inside set, runs it to the outside, and basically gets what looks to be a volleyball version of an alley-oop. Sprayberry to Boehner, covered by Lumen. They'll back row set it to Sprayberry, off the block. Sprayberry gets the kill. It's 20-14, and it looks like that the Tornado are content in running this one out. A 6-point advantage with 5 points to go in the match. Sprayberry sends it over. Valentine with the dig. Pleopole gets it freed over to Maxwell. They'll go to Mashikian, off the block, and the ambassador showing up for this one, getting the solo block. 20-15 as Austin Quinn will check into the match in place of Brennan Boehner. As Quinn will be back to serve. The freshman out of St. Augustine, Florida, in for his first tour of duty in this contest. Drucker goes far side to Mashikian. As that'll go off the block. 21-15 the score. As that block went right at me. We'll have to do a damage assessment on the MacBook Pro, which I'm sure will send fear into a lot of people checking out the action today. Is Schaefer. He'll get the kill. It's the Crusaders get it to 21-16. It's Gavin Schaefer back to serve, but not so fast. We'll have a substitution. It's Carter Eck, the freshman out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, will check into the contest for his first time today. So Harrisburg replacing Lidditz, Pennsylvania, on the floor for the Crusaders. Besson has it dug out. Pleopole on the second ball. And now Drucker misses wide. And the Crusaders have trimmed it back to within 4 at 21-17. And Ryan Boer exhorting his team to essentially finish off the contest. Eck is going to get the service ace, and I guess when that happens, you have to say, what the Eck, as he gets the service ace, making it 21-18. So Carter Eck with the service ace. So Crusaders are back to within 3. Sprayberry, Drucker, Eck with the save. They'll take it over to Mashikian. Mashikian paints the line again. It's almost as if Eddie Mashikian had been on the crew that laid down the volleyball lines earlier in the year, because he knows where every nook and cranny on this surface is. A 4-point lead for the Tornado. That serve into the net. The Crusaders still with a little bit of life in them. Down by 3 at 22-19. Nixon to serve. They need to get a rally going here and put together 3 or 4 points consecutively. Basson goes into the block. He'll get the kill. So they're knocking on the door at 23-19. Mushikian back to serve. Pleopold goes to Durkees. Saved by the Tornado. That's going to go off the block of Maxwell. Sprayberry will flip it over to Eck. Pleopold to Maxwell. The point's going to go to the Tornado as there's no touch, and that'll set up match point for King at 24-19. Pleopold pushes that over to Lummen. Now they'll go to Sprayberry, and Sprayberry ends it in style. It's the Crusaders falling straights this afternoon by scores of 23, 22, and 19. When we come back, we'll have the Ortho Carolina postgame show. It's the Crusaders falling straight sets to King. We'll be back on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network.
Want to get the most out of your next getaway or business trip? Get over to Belmont, North Carolina, and feel the Hamptonality. At the Hampton Inn Charlotte Belmont at Moncross, we give you friendly service at a great value. You'll rest easy on our clean and fresh Hampton bed. The crisp white linens and duvet give a fresh start to every guest each morning. Every morning begins with our free hot breakfast, including delicious waffles and hearty oatmeal. And with free Wi-Fi, you're guaranteed to stay connected. We're conveniently located just 8 miles from the center of Charlotte, 7 miles from the Charlotte Douglas International Airport, and just 1 mile from Belmont Abbey College. Book your stay by visiting Hampton.com or by calling 704-825-6100. Again, that's Hampton.com or calling 704-825-6100. Feel the Hamptonality at the preferred hotel for Crusaders athletics, the Hampton Inn Charlotte Belmont at Moncross.
Pain. Pain doesn't just work 9 to 5. Pain can work round the clock, hours and hours, without even thinking of taking a break. So when you're hurting, you don't want to wait for an appointment. You need relief now. Well, there is a solution. Ortho Carolina's Urgent Care can provide relief for the entire family when time is of the essence. Our after-hours clinics are conveniently located near you when you need us. Ortho Carolina's expert staff is ready to treat strains, sprains, minor dislocations, sports injuries, joint pain, and more. The next time you or a loved one is hurting on an evening or over the weekend, we'll be ready to help. It's the same state-of-the-art care, professionalism, and expertise that's made Ortho Carolina a leader in the Southeast. Pain doesn't happen when it's handy, and you shouldn't have to wait to get relief. Visit orthocarolina.com for a list of urgent care locations and hours. Ortho Carolina. You improve.
Just off the 485 loop, minutes from Center City, is a place where the golf is thrilling and the food is a treat for the palate. Pine Island Country Club. Matt Zavanet and his staff have created a golfing and social experience that is unique to the Charlotte Metro. The golf course is one of the best conditioned, aesthetically pleasing courses in the region. The knowledgeable and friendly staff are on the ready to help you play and look your best. The club pool offers a chance to spend the day with family, enjoying the warmth of summer and laughter with friends. If you're in the mood for a night of dinner and conversation, then Pine Island is your spot. Prepare to be treated to an elegant evening at the place you belong, the approachably private Pine Island Country Club. Call Matt Zavanet to schedule your tour by calling 704-394-1422. That's 704-394-1422. Pine Island Country Club.
Looking for the latest scores of your favorite Crusaders teams? www.abbeyathletics.com. Feature content such as coaches' interviews. www.abbeyathletics.com. Looking for the brand new Crusaders Corner? You got it. www.abbeyathletics.com. For stats, standing stories, and more, there's only one place in cyberspace when it comes to your Crusaders. That place, www.abbeyathletics.com.
Conference Carolinas, competition amongst 10 colleges and universities across North and South Carolina as well as Tennessee. Over 3,000 student athletes competing at the highest level of NCAA Division II athletics with annual selections to postseason play. Conference Carolinas is dedicated to student athletes not only succeeding on the field, but in the classroom and after graduation. Keep up with us at conferencecarolinas.com and be sure to follow us at CONF Carolinas on our various social media platforms.
Hi folks, Brian Rushing here. Earlier this year, my wife and I went looking for our dream home. You know, the perfect place to have family and friends over, sharing life together, and ultimately growing old together. You might be in the same boat that we were in. With interest rates at seriously low levels, my question for you is, why haven't you taken the step to home ownership? If you're still looking for the right agent, let me suggest to you Moss Realty. They have an unbelievable inventory at mossrealty.com, and the personal service is second to none. When I called 865-5555, Don Mott made it his personal objective to make sure that we would find our dream home. Folks, Moss Realty turns dream home searching into dream home living. Call them up, 704-865-5555, or go online to mossrealty.com. Moss Realty, turning dream home searching into dream home living. And we're back here inside the Wheeler Center for the Ortho Carolina postgame show. I want to thank the folks at Ortho Carolina for all that they do on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. I want to thank Dr. Ron John Matra in his 16th season of assisting the student athletes here at Belmont Abbey College make their day-to-day work a little easier, and when they do deal with an injury, making the recovery back all the better, as the Dr. Ron John Matra and the staff of Ortho Carolina do yeoman's work with the Belmont Abbey Crusaders athletes. Also want to thank Blair Primus for helping the Belmont Abbey Sports Network be what it is on a daily basis for the Crusaders. Folks, for excellence in orthopedics, there's only one name to remember: Ortho Carolina. You improved. Taking a look at the numbers this afternoon for today's matchup, the third match for the Crusaders that they've played in the course of 4 days. Certainly fatigue would have obviously set in, especially since you tack on the fact that they made the 3-hour trip down to Hartsville, South Carolina to take on Coker last night. They had won 2 straight matches coming into the action today, but they were not able to turn it over this afternoon as the King University Tornado showed why they're 7-1 now in the regular season and a perfect 3-0 in conference, as they were just able to outmuscle the Crusaders and outlast them in this 3-set win, winning by straight set scores of 25-23, 25-22, and 25-19. You take a look at the attack percentages. They were very steady for King. A .288 team percentage throughout the course of the 3 sets, and the numbers got progressively better as the match went along. They started out with a .258 attack percentage in set number 1, got to .300 in set number 2, and then finished off the Crusaders in set number 3 with a .303 attack percentage. They had 2 players in double figures in kills as Eddie Mushikian finished with 15. Jeff Sprayberry had 13, including the final swing of the contest to get the win for the Tornadoes. Nick Drucker had 45 assists this afternoon. They had 2 players in double figures with digs, one being Drucker, who had 12. Sean Lumman had 10 digs also to go with 6 kills for the Tornado this afternoon. For the Crusaders, Liam Maxwell had 11 kills this afternoon, as he's had a string of really solid performances, as he also had from the service line 3 service aces this afternoon. Bryce Sullivan had 22 assists on the afternoon for the Crusaders. The Crusaders not quite able to string enough attacking together, as they finished with an attack percentage of 163 on the afternoon, never getting any higher than 176 in any set this afternoon. So the Crusaders fall in straight sets, 3-0 here on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. When we come back, we'll try to see if we can get a word briefly with Sean Manzi before we turn over the broadcast a little bit later on to wrestling. We'll be back on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network.
Pain. Pain doesn't just work 9 to 5. Pain can work round the clock, hours and hours, without even thinking of taking a break. So when you're hurting, you don't want to wait for an appointment. You need relief now. Well, there is a solution. Ortho Carolina's Urgent Care can provide relief for the entire family when time is of the essence. Our after-hours clinics are conveniently located near you when you need us. Ortho Carolina's expert staff is ready to treat strains, sprains, minor dislocations, sports injuries, joint pain, and more. The next time you or a loved one is hurting on an evening or over the weekend, we'll be ready to help. It's the same state-of-the-art care, professionalism, and expertise that's made Ortho Carolina a leader in the Southeast. Pain doesn't happen when it's handy, and you shouldn't have to wait to get relief. Visit orthocarolina.com for a list of urgent care locations and hours. Ortho Carolina. You improve.
Gaston County is a great place to raise a family. The benefits of the Charlotte Metro blended with the familiarity of several bedroom communities make Gaston a wonderful place to become a first-time homebuyer. But in a shifting market, it's paramount to find a company that will work even harder for you in a very competitive landscape. Might I suggest to you Moss Realty? Moss Realty wants to serve you as an advocate through the home buying process. I've seen the hard work of the staff on a personal level. The attention to detail and their knowledge of Gaston County is top-notch. Moss Realty can help you make a pleasure out of life's biggest purchase. Give them a call at 704-865-5555 or log on to mossrealty.com. The number again, 704-865-5555. Moss Realty can turn dream home searching into dream home living. That number one more time, 704-865-5555. That's Moss Realty.
Back here on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network as the Crusaders fall in straight sets this afternoon to the King University Tornado. Here with the Ortho Carolina postgame show. For excellence in orthopedics, there's only one name to remember, Ortho Carolina. You improved as the Crusaders here with head coach Sean Manzi. Coach, certainly an afternoon to where you knew that you had a tough task in front of you, and considering the fact that you're playing your third match in the course of 4 days, one of them on the road last night, probably made things a very daunting task for this club, even though you had the momentum riding of a 2-game winning streak. Kind of give us your thoughts on the match overall this afternoon.
They're 7-1 for a reason. They played very well. They had great set distribution, and there were points where they outworked us. And we believe that we got beat out of that game. With two players with 13 plus kills, that's very good on their part, and they earned their points. And we had a lot of work to do in regards to scramble or scrappiness, and we made some adjustments between the sets, and apparently it just weren't enough, and they were still a great team.
Well, they were able to put together a pretty solid attack, and they could have arguably the best outside hitting combo of Jeff Sprayberry and Eddie Mushikian. And they really did put together quite a performance. Both of them combined had 28 kills on the afternoon. I would imagine that having two outside hitters that work in tandem the way those two do make it very difficult to game plan for a club of this nature.
Sure. They hit a great set out of the outside, but they did a very good job establishing their middle attackers early in the match, which really forced our middles to stay disciplined and focus on them. But it really opened up the offense for the outside hitters. So we got beat in those regards, and our defense, was working overtime because our middles were really working against their middles.
In this last stretch of 3 matches in the course of 4 days, you give yourself an opportunity to get a couple days to practice and rest before you have Pfeiffer come into the Wheeler Center. After this 3-match stretch, you got to see your club win a couple of matches, compete with one of the top clubs in the conference. What were your feelings overall about how your club performed over the course of the last 4 days?
It's been an interesting roller coaster for us. Last night, obviously playing 5 sets at Coker, and the only other match that Coker's lost this year was against Penn State. So we take that as a very high regard and very big respect that we can compete.
Sure.
So now, especially after that 4-set loss against Mount Olive, we got beat against Mount Olive, we know that we're going up and up. So we have to see the patience and that we're tired, we're this and that, but that's part of athletics. You have to persevere and push through. And, Coach K and Coach Polomsky do a great job in the weight room for strength and conditioning. So they're physically, but we got to get mentally locked in, especially for these long stretches.
Well, Coach, I'm going to go ahead and let you go and kind of get into your weekend a little bit and get your team prepared for the upcoming match against Pfeiffer. We thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you very much.
Folks, when we come back, we'll put a bow on it this afternoon, and we'll begin to set the table for wrestling this afternoon. That'll take place at 5 o'clock as the Crusaders fall to King in straight sets this afternoon. We'll be back on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network.
Pain. Pain doesn't just work 9 to 5. Pain can work round the clock, hours and hours, without even thinking of taking a break. So when you're hurting, you don't want to wait for an appointment. You need relief now. Well, there is a solution. Ortho Carolina's Urgent Care can provide relief for the entire family when time is of the essence. Our after-hours clinics are conveniently located near you when you need us. Ortho Carolina's expert staff is ready to treat strains, sprains, minor dislocations, sports injuries, joint pain, and more. The next time you or a loved one is hurting on an evening or over the weekend, we'll be ready to help. It's the same state-of-the-art care, professionalism, and expertise that's made Ortho Carolina a leader in the Southeast. Pain doesn't happen when it's handy, and you shouldn't have to wait to get relief. Visit orthocarolina.com for a list of urgent care locations and hours. Ortho Carolina. You improve.
Final segment here on the Ortho Carolina postgame show for this afternoon as the Crusaders fall by scores of 25-23, 25-22, and 25-19 to the King University Tornado. The King University Tornado now in a tie for first place in the conference at 3-0 with Mount Olive. The Crusaders fall to 1-3 in the conference, 2-5 overall, as the Crusaders have their two-game win streak snapped this afternoon to the King University Tornado. Let's go ahead and set the scene with what's going on the rest of the day here on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. At 5 o'clock, we'll be on the air for wrestling as the Crusaders wrap up their home schedule against Davidson College. That'll be a 5 o'clock start. At that point, we'll start to see some finals roll in from other sports. We'll try to get you those finals as they become available in the 5 o'clock broadcast with wrestling against Davidson. With that said, you can always check on to www.abbeyathletics.com for up-to-the-minute scores and highlights throughout the day of your Belmont Abbey College sports teams. Want to thank so many people for making this broadcast possible here in the early afternoon. Want to thank Director of Athletics Stephen Miss, Associate AD Paul Lyon, Assistant Athletics Director Justin Bates. Want to thank Director of Athletic Communications Jim Steffen. Want to thank Brooks Ledger also this afternoon. Want to thank Dr. Trey Cunningham for his efforts on the day. And we also want to thank Thomas Eichhorn operating the camera this afternoon, as it's been an interesting afternoon already, and we'll bring back more to you in just a little while as the Crusaders will take on Davidson College in wrestling action. That again starting at 5 o'clock. Until then, folks, we hope that you have a fantastic weekend as we get ready for the big game on Sunday, whether you're pulling for the Patriots or the Atlanta Falcons. We hope that you enjoy your weekend. We'll see you next time on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. Good night, everybody. Crusaders Athletics on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network has been brought to you by Pine Island Country Club, Domino's, Moss Realty, the Hampton Inn by Hilton at Montcross, and Ortho Carolina. You improve. Don't forget, your online home for all things Crusaders can be found at www.abbeyathletics.com. We thank you for tuning in. We can't wait to see you next time right here on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network.